Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at an 11-year-old Springbank from the Glen Master bottler. Bottler, Dustin? Is that probably the best way to say that?
Bottler and importer? One of the two.
Yeah, so what this is a single barrel 11-year-old Springbank. Comes in at 46% ABV. Cask number 597, distilled December 1993, bottled February 2005. Dustin, do we have a cask maturation on this bad boy?
There's nothing listed. Based on color, Mike, we're going to go out on the limb and say it's probably bourbon.
Yeah, probably. Right? It gives you the bourbon feel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, Dustin. This one has, you picked this up not too terribly long ago. And amazing we could find something that was, distributed probably 17 years ago.
17 years ago.
Just still here on the shelf. And I tell you what, anytime you got some cork sticking to the side before you could take it off into disintegrating cork, you know it's an old bottle.
It is. Yeah. Now, I got a shout out to BourBen. He found this and got it to a large number of people in the whiskey community.
How much does it go for?
$60, $70, man.
What?
It was 2005 pricing.
I guess so. All right, buddy. Probably a nice natural color. Yeah. I would be shocked if it wasn't a natural color. Young whiskey.
We've got a 14-year-old Longmore as well that we'll get to from these guys as well.
Ooh, fruity.
That is just like yellow tropical fruit.
Okay, yeah, banana. Like you say yellow. I was gonna say like a yellow peach which I know is kind of like a peachish color, but like there is a very yellowish crayon.
Now, when people differentiate plantain from banana, Mike, what are they really getting at there?
The smell.
Like what's the difference in the two?
A plantain?
Yeah.
You cook that up like that's more like a. I make them like almost like potato chips. You know what I mean? It's like a denser thing. I kind of cook this up in some oils and things. So yeah, it's not a bad.
I'm just trying to kind of get to because it's so citrusy. Mm-hmm. Like is it very like tangerines are smaller oranges. They're also a little more intense. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a sharp citrus note.
It's intense
and a fun fruity banana note to it.
Yeah, nice salty element here too.
There is, yeah.
Maybe a hint, a whisper of smoke, if you will.
I agree. A funky smoke. It's weird the funk is in the smoke. I never really had that with the Springbank before. You get that? Am I off base there?
I know exactly where you're coming from, and I think they're together. Maybe it's the oak.
You know, they said yellow peach. It is the banana and the banana peel together. A little bit of sugar on that banana peel with some funky smoke.
But this isn't like some of the heavily peated stuff we've had where I really think banana. Like this, just banana's part of this like overwhelming like citrus. Like I don't know.
Citrus and soft fruit.
Yeah. Really lovely, Mike. There's just... It's big, it's bold, it's explosive. Yeah, it's young, but this is what young whiskey should smell like.
Yeah, it comes off a little more refined than you would expect 11-year-old whiskey to come.
Thus, the way it should be.
It's
really nice.
Yeah, it's good. It kind of reminds me complexity-wise of that Kilkerran 10 or Killowen 10 that we did. Just a nice lattice of flavor and density. I know that wasn't a single barrel, but just going from a profile perspective on the nose.
Yeah.
What are you picking up on the palate?
A lot more earthy, grainy. Peat's coming through here. Definitely a nice little smoke. The fruits are still there, but you've got this kind of it's like a dried bread kind of a thing going on here. It's not like you're sort of sugary candied breads. It's very dry, hearty. Some barley's in here. Really nice. It's one of those whiskeys I just want to have another drink of. Like, I'll have another drink, Mike. Yeah.
As soon as you swallow, almost like a Kleinleach-esque waxiness note to it. Very waxy, thick, I would say. It comes off a little, when you say earthy, it comes off a little more scorched earth to me on the palate. Mm-hmm. You pick up the youth more so than you did on the nose by far. There are some grains to it for sure. This just goes kind of show you how much I really like. We were talking about this in the last Springbank 10 local bar that we did. How bourbon cask maturation really does nice things with this spirit. Lets it showcase here on the finish. Kind of gets a little bit sugary along with that salty note. Yeah. A little bit of salt, sea brine, but then a little bit of a sweet sugary note that goes on with some indistinct fruit. I found the nose a little bit more interesting, but
I should note there's a little bit of a banana note with the vanilla at the very forefront, up front when you first taste it, and then it kind of goes into those notes. Honestly, Mike, this is kind of what you're buying an 11-year-old whiskey. There's no sherry. There's nothing else going on. 46%. I don't know how you could ask for more.
Yeah, you're showcasing the spirit, especially that $60 mark or whatever that was. Wow, that's a... You know, back then you could get great whiskeys for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could.
You get great scotches, especially.
Oh,
but,
yeah. 2005, you get some bourbons, man. Jeez.
It was a different time, that's for sure. All right, threw some water in it.
The earthy notes are coming out a little bit more. The water's teased them out.
It has salt too.
Yeah, it's gotten salty.
Yeah, it become far less fruity, far more salty with water.
It's not very pleasant.
Yeah, this is what I think of when I think Campbelltown whiskey now.
Yeah, funky.
The sweetness is still there, but if the sweetness initially when I smelled it was 70% of what I got initially, now it's just a wisp. You know what I mean? It's a component or a complement to what is becoming a much more maritime Springbank.
Yeah, no, I mean the thing is, this is kind of Springbank's profile, but it's doing something. I don't know. It's like everything's just a little shifted off from what you'd expect in like a regular 10-year-old or a single cask.
Yeah, at this point with water, it kind of deconstructed to the point where you think, a little more age probably wouldn't have been the worst thing for this particular thing. But, I didn't get that as much when I drank it neat, and at 46%, you definitely don't need to put water in.
Yeah, no, on the mouthfeel, it actually maintains its mouthfeel real well with water, exceptionally well, but it is bringing out a little more bitterness than I like. I kept the water pretty light. I think you went a little heavier, Mike, so let me know if that extra little dollop added took away from the mouthfeel more than it did here, but it just kind of made it a more intense experience, but not necessarily a better one.
Yeah, at least on the palate. But when I swallowed, it was that very same really waxy, dense...
Wonderful finish.
Yeah, it really... Like the mid-palate on in the finish, good whiskey. Nose, neat, good whiskey. Good. Nose with water,
I could even go very good on the nose neat.
Yeah, it's a nice fruity.
And honestly, this is one of the best finishing 46%ers I can think of right now, especially when you combine that with mouthfeel. It's creamy, it's rich, it does not drink 46%.
No, I would say that. So where are you as far as the whiskey score on this one, my friend?
I'm going to give this a very solid 87, Mike. I was thinking 88, and then I thought, well, that water brought it down. Maybe I should go 86, but no, I think 87. Good, solid, $125, $150 bottle. If that was what somebody was asking, I think you'd be happy with it if you like Springbank.
Yeah, absolutely. Being that I'm a fan of this distillery, I was right there with you in 87. If you're not a fan of this distillery, you'd probably think a little bit less of it. But again, this is another one where Springbank is really the only distillery, unlike Ardbeg, that I feel easily gets away with 46%. I think it has something to do with the viscosity and something to do with the density of just the malt. Where I don't always feel that way with Ardbeg. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I rambled a bit. But yeah, 87 out of 100. I was also thinking perhaps an 88. And for a young whiskey at 46%, bourbon cask only, not bad. Not bad.
Man, if you had a case of this, I mean, God, that'd be an easy
$60
bottle.
bucks.
You could just go through bottle after bottle, man.
Yeah, it's a good drinker, that's for sure. And it came with a really cool...
Yeah, I like the little glued-on thing. The packaging actually is really nice. Everything about it was well done.
Yeah.
These guys, I mean, it's not pretentious, but it also doesn't look cheap and cheesy like Glen Master. You've seen their new packaging, Mike?
Disappointing. But, anytime you put an emblem on it and a little bit of Scottish kilt or something on it, you know what I mean? A little strip of the kilt.
Well, even like the lion on here, like the artwork. I mean, it's a little cheesy, but it's nice.
Reminds me of some of the archive series, and the one that had the fish on it. I think that was a Lefroy. That was a good one. Anyway, those are our thoughts on this whiskey. Very obscure bottle. Again, bottled back in 2005, only 500 and... Oh, no, this is cask number 597. Do we know how many bottles of this were made?
I feel like I thought I saw that somewhere on here.
Yeah,
could be on the box.
I looked on the back. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, we're guessing bourbon, so we're guessing probably in the 200 to high 100 range.
Yeah, it could be upwards of 350.
Yeah, and I'm guessing since they're saying cask 570, maybe there were quite a few of these casks that made it around.
Yeah, maybe. I would definitely want to try more of those, especially if the price was even double, say 120. I think that's well worth it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, again, this is great stuff. Once again, thanks, Ben, for picking this up. I'm just glad to have actually gotten to have my own full bottle of an independent Springbank. They've gotten so hard to get these days.
They are, and they go crazy high, too.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried a couple, younger expressions, a couple older expressions, thanks to some people giving me samples, but I've never owned a bottle, so it's really nice to have an independent bottle of Springbank. And so that's kind of why I brought it, guys. I know you probably can't get this bottle all, other than like the 12 of you that Ben got bottles for.
But yeah, if you see some independent bottles, it's worth taking
Yeah,
a chance. Now the problem with Springbank is I even see independent bottles like go in secondary markets or bourbon cask only. You don't know exactly what you're getting. 25-year-old, $1,200. Like at that point, I might as well look for a normal Springbank 25.
Problem is those are harder to get.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't get any cheaper just because it
Well,
gets a little
the
bit.
secondary, that was $3,000 on the Springbank 25 these days. So
It's brutal whiskey, but we'll have a new one coming to you guys
Oh,
for
man.
that soon too. Dustin, we're both in 87 every time we've agreed lately, but always close usually.
Yeah.
Always nice to be spot on one of these. So if you guys had a chance to this one, I'd like to know what you guys think. Dustin, until next time, what do we wish the folks?
happy Springbank drinking.
We'll see you then.